Now this is exciting. Year 2 of Brett Berard. He will be an important piece of the puzzle, but can he be a key cog on the Rangers' third line this season? I break it down here in just a moment on another sizzling edition of Rangers Digest. Welcome back to Rangers Digest. We are built for Blue Shirt fandom, and I am your host, Bret Botfeld. It is great to be back with you guys on this sensational Sunday, the 27th of July. But before we get into today's video, a quick reminder that about 77% of you who currently watch these videos are still unsubscribed to the channel. So please hit that free subscribe button down below so you can stay up to date with everything New York Rangers. Not only that, guys, so you could be part of something special here at Rangers Digest. Let's get right into today's video. So the Rangers' top 6 appears to be in good shape, but their bottom 6 is questionable. So here's a tweet here from Molly Walker. As you can see, Brett Berard said he tore his labrum in his shoulder during the season, which lingered and forced him to pull out of the Worlds this season. Surgery wasn't needed. He'll be ready for training camp. So let's hear what he had to say about that. So here is Brett Berard at the Shoulder Check Showcase Thursday night in Stamford, Connecticut, and he said about his shoulder injury that it stunk, but I was rooting for everyone there, said he was pumped to see them win gold. Moving along, Berard made his first appearance of the season on November 25th in a 5-2 loss versus the St. Louis Blues, in which he tallied an assist in 11 minutes and 13 seconds of playing time. He scored the next game against the Carolina Hurricanes and was kept off the score sheet for the final 2 games of the month. Given that Berard had been recently added to the team, it makes sense why he was trying to play through the injury to preserve his spot, but it was a pretty silly decision in hindsight. And guys, it was a silly decision because let's not forget when Braden Schneider tried to play through the same injury, he only did further damage, but nevertheless, you can see that injury happened in November around the same time he made his debut with the Rangers. So he was battling this injury the entire year, folks. Moving right along. This is from BlueLineStation.com, by the way. So this past season, he had a line of 9, 14, and 23 points in 30 games with the Wolfpack before he made the jump to the NHL level. The Blue Shirts' 22-year-old left wing plays with a lot of heart and is always looking to impact the game in a way that exceeds his 5'9" and 174-pound frame. So as you can see there, he has been a productive member of the Hartford Wolfpack. He's been kind of moved around here, folks, up and down between the AHL and the NHL, but he has been a consistent producer at both levels. Now let's take a look at his NHL stats this past season. As you can see, he went on to skate in 35 total games for the Rangers this season and had a line of 6, 4, and 10 points total while averaging 10 minutes and 43 seconds per night. Berard bursted onto the scene in a big way for the Hartford Wolfpack during his 2023-2024 rookie season, and he finished the season with a line of 25-23 for a total of 48 points in 71 regular season games. Berard went on to add 6 points in 10 playoff games for the Pack. Now let's get into the good and bad when it comes to Brett Berard. Obviously, folks, we are talking about a former 5th-round pick in the 2020 NHL draft, and now he is obviously battling for playing time here in this bottom 6, which has been a concern for the New York Rangers the past few seasons. We've heard names like Brennan Othmann, like Gabe Perreault, like Juuso Parssinen, but Berard was a fixture on that bottom 6 last season, and most fans expect him to start on somewhere in the bottom 6 this season as well. But let's get into the good and the bad when it comes to Berard. I'll pull up his stats once again here so you guys can take a look. So when it comes to the good, Brett Berard is extremely fast. You gotta love his sizzling speed. He is obviously very tough, as you saw talking about that 5'9", 174-pound frame. He certainly plays bigger than that. A lot of people have actually compared him to Brad Marchand, which is an absolute great comparison. Who wouldn't want to be compared to a winner like Marchand? And they are obviously similar in stature. So if the Rangers could get, that type of production and that type of physicality from Berard that you've seen from a Brad Marchand, obviously, that would be amazing for the Rangers and their bottom six. Now, let's talk about the bad. So, Brett Berard needs to improve in the D zone, no doubt about it. Peter Laviolette had him as a healthy scratch many games last season because of it. Obviously, his size, which we were just talking about, even though he plays above that frame, he can only be so physical. Like I said, he's not the biggest guy, so he plays hard, he plays tough, and what I love about him, while I still think it was silly that he played through that injury, because like I said, we saw Schneider do the same thing, and it only got worse and did further damage, but what that confirms, playing through that gruesome injury, is that this player has stones. This player is tough. And the Rangers lacked a lot of players last year with toughness, with speed, with snarl, and Brett Berard certainly fits the bill in all those three categories. Like I said, not the biggest guy, but he's got the speed, he's got the snarl, he is tough, and he will produce at both levels. Like I said, he did it with the Wolfpack, and now he's done it for the Rangers. And I said, guys, that he's going to be battling in camp with guys like Brendan Othmann, Gabe Perreault, Huso Parssinen, Taylor Radish, players like this in the bottom six, because Brett Berard is looking to play a full season with the Rangers, guys. Not just 35 games, but play a full 82 games with the New York Rangers. Moving along, as you can see, they have less than $1 million in cap space, guys. So what does this mean? I spoke about it in a previous video a few days ago, that the Rangers' best options are going to come from within the organization. Until they decide to move a player like Carson Soucy and his $3.125 million contract, or a Will Borgen, for example, who I want to obviously hold on to. But I'm just throwing out some names that the Rangers could look into moving to clear up some cap space. Not only that, guys, but we just saw the Rangers extend a PTO to Connor Sheary, which was obviously interesting. I mean, he's got the Mike Sullivan connection, the two-time Stanley Cup champion. But what was really interesting about that is this is a bottom six player. Why would you bring in a player like this? I know it's a zero risk type of proposition, giving him a PTO, but if he makes the team, that means something went wrong with one or maybe even two of the players in the Rangers' bottom six. Maybe there's an injury, or maybe there's too much redundance, or not enough production from the Huso Parssinens of the world, from, maybe Brendan Othmann. Maybe you're not seeing that development that you want to see here in the offseason. But nevertheless, like I said, Berard is going to be battling players like that for a spot on this roster. As you can see here, folks, take a look at this chart from Puckpedia. You see Gabe Perreault and Brett Berard both in this chart, but look at where Brendan Othmann sits. He sits in that press box currently, so Berard is certainly going to be fighting tooth and nail for playing time against a guy like Othmann, right? But I'm curious what you guys think. Do you guys think that Brett Berard can have a prominent impact on the Rangers, not only this season, but moving forward, guys? The Rangers are the 10th youngest team in the league, which is hard to believe. A lot of their stars are veterans, but make no mistake about it, there's a lot of young talent on this roster. Now it is up to the Rangers to develop these players. They haven't had an issue in bringing in the right type of talent. Where they've had their biggest problem is developing. So if you were to ask me right now, who will start at third left wing for the New York Rangers, my answer is Brett Berard. I am extremely high on Brendan Othmann, but let's be frank. Brett Berard showed he can produce at both levels, playing through that gruesome injury, guys. That is not an easy injury to play through. Like I said, he is tough. He's got that Brad Marchand comparison. And when it comes to Othmann, while I love the upside, in 22 games last year, he only recorded 2 points. I know he was engaged the entire time, which is good. But in 25 total career games for Othmann, 0 goals, which is concerning because this is an offensive, player that has the potential to wreak havoc on the ice. That's what he was drafted for. He was known for that shot. But we simply haven't seen it yet. And the Rangers need results now, especially after that season they had last year. So I believe Brett Berard will start the season at third left wing. I believe he should, and I believe he will be there for a long time. Leave your comments down below. I'm curious to hear what you guys think about this. Do you think Brett Berard should start? You think Brennan Othmann should start? How about Gabe Perreault? Obviously a natural right wing, but are you open to, experience, giving him some experience on that left side? All types of options the Rangers have. It's up to them to make the right decision, and I believe that is Berard. So leave your comments down below, and if you haven't hit that free subscribe button, hit that button so you can stay up to date with everything New York Rangers. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. We will see you back here tomorrow on Monday. Take care.